How does it feel to be 72 years old and beating hundreds of thousands of athletes that are half your age last year?
Because it is so intense trying to keep up.
There are senior citizens and there are women here that are going to outlift you.
And you're going to the gym and doing these things every single day or five to 6 days a week. Like, you don't run into any issues with recovery?
Blaine, Carson, last year you actually ranked 8th in the CrossFit Open for the Master 70 plus. You're 72 years old. You're competing this year. What are you currently ranked with CrossFit in the Open right now?
I'm 26th.
26th.
Excuse me, 24th.
24th.
24th, yeah.
How does it feel to be 72 years old and beating hundreds of thousands of athletes that are half your age last year?
It really feels good. Very, very grateful for what I've been given to be able to do that. I think it starts with attitude as well as brain power and desire, fire in the gut, those kinds of things. I find myself very grateful to be able to do this.
I would argue that CrossFit would be considered the highest level from what I've seen of athleticism. Now, there is an argument to be made as far as powerlifting and such, people that do free weights a lot more on their own. However, I think the CrossFit Open is a fantastic way to kind of show a rubric of how athletic a person is. And you scored 8th in the Master 70 plus. I would say that would indicate that globally you're probably in the top 10 most athletic 70 plus year olds.
Yes, they call it the 8th fittest in the world.
Right.
At 70 plus. Right.
Right.
Now, are there more fitter, if that's a good way to say it, if there's fitter people out there that are 70 plus than me? There probably is, but They didn't compete in CrossFit. They didn't take the time. They didn't spend the money to compete and participate and keep track and stay healthy and not get hurt. That's probably the main thing, is you try to stay away from getting hurt.
Most people in their 70s have a tendency to slow down so that they can retire, and here you are still speeding up. What's driving you to do that at this point?
Well, the answer most give is I want to look good naked. My wife, Rachel, is fit as well. She runs half marathons, works out religiously every day. She did start with me in CrossFit when I started 10 years ago, but she did not like the competitive nature of CrossFit. She's just not a very competitive person, and I thrive on that. So that's part of it too, right? Yeah. So she's very proud of what I do. I'm very proud of what she does, and she is my motivation.
I'm 41 years old, currently taking a stack of peptides, and I attempt to go into the gym and hang with you, and it's just not happening. How long should somebody expect to start preparing to be healthy in their 70s before they get to their 70s?
You got to put some time in. You really do. You got to put some time in. I would venture to say at least 5 years. I really would, because it is so intense trying to keep up, do the movements, and then you're judged on depth of squat. Did your chest hit the bar, or did your chest hit the bar on a chest bar? Did your chest hit the ground on a burpee? Did both feet leave the ground at the same time on a burpee, bar over burpee? So there's lots of things you have to be able to do in order to keep up with those that are your age, and be able to have the cardio capacity to do it too. There's that.
And there's a ton of people that are right now, even my age, even younger than me, that are thinking it's too late, I'm past my prime. What was going on in your mind day one when you decided to go down this fitness journey with CrossFit?
So I have a little background to that. I have 4 children. My daughter Mandy is my second, and she is built like me with these big legs and arms and the desire, the competitive nature of whatever she does. And she's always led me to some physical adventures like triathlons. She started triathlons, and the first person she called was me and said, "Dad, you got to do triathlons. Yeah. And you got to come and run a marathon with me. You got to come and do this. You got to come do that. You got to come do this." And so she called one day and said, "Dad, you got to do CrossFit with me." So I went and signed up, and away we went. So that was when I was about 62 years old, and I wasn't in great shape, but I wasn't in terrible shape either. But you've got to work into it slowly. I hear people say that that CrossFit, you get hurt in CrossFit. Yeah, you can get hurt if you lift too much weight, if you don't listen to the coach, if you don't stretch, you don't warm up, you don't eat right. There's a lot of prep that goes into ending up where I am.
You mean you have to take care of your body if you're going to ask it to do very demanding things?
Yeah.
Huh.
And it tells you if you're in trouble too.
Yep.
After that first quarterfinal workout that I did, that was nuts, and I could hardly walk. Even after all the workouts I do, I go 5 days a week, sometimes 6, and do very hard things.
And what slays me is my first day in a CrossFit gym. I walk into the gym on day one, and the coach sits me down and she says, "Here's the thing." And I'm like, "Oh, here we go."
I know who this coach is.
Yeah. And she says, "So first of all, check your ego at the door." And I'm like, here comes the cliche speeches, right? Mm-hmm. And she goes, "Secondly, we have athletes here, and you're not going to compete with them. There are senior citizens, and there are women here that are going to outlift you. Don't attempt to do what they do. You're not going to be able to." And of course, my internal dialogue and ego is going, this lady has no idea who I am. And so I get in the gym, and I believe you were working out that day. And there's another person who's in that senior class as well. And he was working out right next to me. So we're doing the workout, and I'm giving it my all because I'm not going to allow some seniors.
Yeah, you have something to prove,
right?
Of course.
And he comes up to me afterwards, and he goes, "Hey, brother, great job." And he shakes my hand. I was like, "Oh, thanks, man." He goes, "How many did you get?" And I go, "Oh, I got 3. And he's like, "Good job, man. That's great for, somebody who's just getting started."
Yeah.
And coach comes by, and she goes, "Eddie, how many did you get?" And I go, "I got 3. And I just got gassed up by this guy going, that's great for somebody who just started. And she looks at him and she goes, "How many did you get?" And he goes, "I got 5. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just got beat on by a man in his 60s. And then, I don't know, probably 4 months later, I come to find out, no, he's in his 70s and he's just an absolute tank. But that's what's so crazy about CrossFit for me is all these people say that you get injured all the time doing CrossFit because they're going in there with their ego. And I probably shouldn't be trash talking other gyms. However, they go in there with this different style of ego and like I did. And they want to be able to compete at these levels. But these are athletes that are working out 5 days a week. Some are doing 2 days. and they're absolutely athletes. And you want to walk in and attempt to compete with that, of course you're going to harm yourself.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Relax.
Yeah.
I just want to touch on something for a moment. You mentioned that you go do this 5 or 6 times a week. Mm-hmm. I'm in my mid-40s, and recovery is something that I struggle with. I used to go to the gym every single day, and I got into my late 30s and realized, my body is highly unresponsive to the gym if I don't take days off. I genuinely don't like that. That's just where I'm at. You don't take peptides. You don't take anything extraneous outside of essentially just food, and you're going to the gym and doing these things every single day or 5 to 6 days a week. Like, you don't run into any issues with recovery?
When I get up in the morning, I sit up in bed and I wonder, how in the heck am I going to be able to do a workout today and get through it? And I know what the workout is, so I know what to expect. I get up, I go in and have some coffee, and I eat a good breakfast. And I'm basically carnivore. Although when I first started carnivore, I wasn't getting enough carbs for the energy. And I found myself lightheaded and struggling big time. So I had to add carbs to it. And so I eat some rice, and my wife feeds me vegetables at night. That was one of the things that we had to agree on. She had to give me some rules that she wanted me to live by.
Right.
So happy wife, happy life. So I do that. But it's red meat or chicken or fish every meal, lots of protein. And so once I do that, and then I have a drink with creatine in it and an element, so I don't cramp up. You got to have lots of magnesium and salt. And by the time I get to the gym, something clicks. So when I get to the gym, something clicks. And I look at the WOD that's posted, and I look at the community around me. I know I'm supported. The coach, I know the coach is watching me. I get comments during my workout of what my biggest problem is breathing. I just stop breathing. I hold my breath. And then they'll finally say, breathe. And so, I got this big push, and it's just game on. It's just, I kind of block everybody else out and just go hard. I just go hard for it. So, but that is my motivation. I get up in the morning, and that's all. I just get ready to go to CrossFit, have my big breakfast, and get ready to go to CrossFit and go.
That's such an interesting mindset that once you get there, there's that click, there's the on switch, and it's very much that mental acuity and focus to be able to simply overcome what you may or may not think your body limitations are. Just your brain just says, no, we're doing this, and my body's going to follow.
It's pretty crazy. It really is. Yesterday's workout was tough. It was tough. And I knew it was going to be. You can tell by the way it reads, and I was all in. I got there and thinking, okay, I think I'll take it easy. Feeling a little sore, a little this, a little that. And by the time 3, 2, 1, go, all hell breaks loose, man, in my mind. And I guess that's one of the things that drives me and makes me want to go where I end up. I'll go I qualified for semifinals. I'll be in semifinals, and so I'm just preparing for that.